spend any time on TikTok, you might already be familiar with her. While many know her by the name Leslie Clark.
Leslie, shut the up. Shut the No.
Billy, you shut your ugly ass up.
You
shut up.
I'm not letting that.
Fed-up critics call her Lizard, Lesby, Piss Queen, Bubble Bass, and worse, Mushroom Pits. And the hatred isn't limited to just name-calling. There's a whole subreddit that goes by the name Leslie Clark Snark, where 14,000 haters actively discuss her deranged, disturbing, and downright wild behavior online.
My name's Ethan. I was 15 when she sent this to me, and I'm 17 now.
You were the one? You were the one?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The fact that she's covering her mouth, she was deaf smiling, she looked proud. She left it there until the live ended? That is absolutely disgusting. Damn, she's so itchy! Probably because she never showers. LOL.
You must be going off that water bottle. You want what you can't have. Ooh, girl, that's too damn bad.
But what makes her so hateful? Honestly, it isn't one thing that made Leslie chronically embarrassing and a public menace.
But if the world was ending, you'd come up for right. You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? And there wouldn't be a reason why. We would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over right.
From doing creepy music covers on YouTube.
Everything. They say the time is else to heal ya, but I never recipe.
To doing seriously questionable stuff like dating minors.
You know that I'm 16, and you still agreed to be my girlfriend.
And faking pregnancies for clout and cash.
I'll never talk about Perry again, but just to let you know, he only dated me because I got free weed, and the reason I did fake a pregnancy was because I was trying to keep Perry because I really did love him. Yeah, just to let y'all know.
To even smoke like she owns TikTok, she has come a long way to become the internet's rock bottom. And this is just the tip of the iceberg because her TikTok and Instagram lives are full of chaos, involving absolutely crazy drama and emotional meltdowns. Believe it or not, Leslie's major part of life revolves around her ex-boyfriends, relationships, and mentally exhausting rants about her failing love life. To top it all off, Leslie runs not one, not two, but multiple social handles across different platforms, with usernames like Pooh Bear, Vape Lover, I post about my ex, Queen Badass, and wait, I am Queen Badass. Now, why she owns so many accounts will make sense to you in a few minutes, and when you do, you will be left disgusted, yet unable to look away from this viral disgrace. Yes, you heard that right. Leslie is the internet's full-course meal of cringe, dirt, and disgrace. But before we go deeper into the madness, let's first talk about her zero hygiene sense. Of all her disturbing habits, her haters had repeatedly pointed at her unwashed armpits, not in a good way. Her haters couldn't ignore it. Honestly, neither can we. Good. She is so nasty. Oh my god, if no one ever taught her basic hygiene, she could at least Google watch a YT vid, since we know she sits on her all day. Oh, that is so disgusting. She has mushrooms growing in there, and this is where her infamous nickname, Mushroom Pits, came along. Since the beginning, Leslie has put out far more than anyone wanted, and viewers simply can't unsee it. Unfortunately, it's not the only problematic thing about Leslie. Time and again, her viewers had also called out another gross habit, farting during her TikTok lives and posts. Not once, not twice, repeatedly. And the people can't stop clocking her for this nauseating act, and her viewers can't help but slam her for it. Isn't she embarrassed? But hold on, we are still not done. Leslie also has this bizarre obsession with pulling faces constantly. Reddit's already on it, calling it exactly what it is, an attempt to rage bait and stay relevant. And then the never-ending tongue chewing. Even worse, viewers think she does it to be that damn tongue, so disgusting, OMG. If that was too difficult for you to stomach, brace yourself for other gag-inducing habits of Leslie, ultimately becoming the final boss of nastiness. Her dirty clothing, greasy hair, and grime are just a glimpse of what's coming, because what she really does in her videos will have you screaming internally. In one live stream, Leslie threw up while drinking, which was due to her long-standing overdrinking habit. But what grossed us out most was the fact that she left it on the floor while staying engaged with the people in her live. Many viewers have even noted that she usually skips washing her hands right after using the bathroom or touching unsanitary surfaces. But what really takes everything to the next level is Leslie's constant victimhood. She wears a hospital bracelet for weeks to show it off to her loyal followers as a badge of suffering, even if it comes at the expense of staying dirty. One minor hospital turns into a full-blown sympathy campaign, but for people who know her very well, it is the boss level of cringe and grime. It's no surprise that wearing hospital bracelets for weeks means you haven't taken a shower in weeks. No wonder she's often seen in videos scratching herself, and she somehow managed to make it worse by sniffing her hands afterwards. Honestly, that's the grossest thing a human could do in front of thousands of people online. But Leslie couldn't care less, and when it comes to her love life, it's no less cringeworthy and embarrassing than her lack of cleanliness. Her dating life is less romantic and more like a battlefield, marked by messy breakups, attention-seeking rants, and public meltdowns. And we are here for all of it. Let's begin with her first date, Perry Fridley, a relationship that was so infamous and emotionally charged that it even got Leslie's viewers talking. Perry was officially Leslie's first love, more like an obsession, someone she could die for. They had met in high school, and Perry used to be everywhere on Leslie's socials, her TikToks, live streams, and most importantly, in her pumped-up rants. But the same can't be said about Perry himself. Perry was a guy who preferred to stay off the radar, more like he wanted to keep his distance from Leslie, and that too for good enough reasons. Leslie once went to Perry's house to stay over for a few days, but unfortunately it didn't last long, because he threw her out in no time. The reason? She didn't shower for weeks. Someone on Reddit said, "I also need a summarization of Perry lore BC, that's all I know." When they were dating, Leslie stayed at Perry's house for several days, but he finally kicked her out because she didn't shower once. And then one day, Perry, out of the blue, called it quits, no closure, no warning. He straight up ghosted her. As expected, Leslie went completely off the rails. She began spamming her TikTok with Perry, crying and having unnecessary meltdowns. It was the beginning of her never-ending Perry saga. She went on to post about Perry for months, with Perry calling her out constantly. When her rants didn't bring a change, she reached the peak of desperation, hitting her rock bottom. Leslie faked pregnancy and claimed the child was Perry's. It was all for both attention and funds from Perry and her followers. Leslie went a step ahead and showed her followers a pregnancy test in a live stream, which seemed to be positive. It was clear Leslie was a master manipulator.
Okay, I can see it. How long ago was that taken?
It was about like 10 minutes ago.
But Perry wasn't buying her lies. In a Facebook post comments, Perry confronted Leslie. "Bullshit, you are lying just like when you said we f***ed and you said you was pregnant. That wasn't a f***ing lie and you know it. Yes it is. I f***ing drew the lines on the pregnancy test." She even changed her Facebook username to Leslie Friedley and added a ridiculous bio, which read, "4 months pregnant with Perry Roy Friedley baby, I am having a boy," naming him Perry Roy Friedley Jr., and for Leslie, adding Friedley to her username was barely scratching the surface, so she once again went into full cringe mode and got Perry's name tattoo, which she also posted on Facebook, with Perry responding, "You're effing creepy." It was for sure that Perry had had enough of Leslie's obsession and drama, and then Perry and Leslie were seen slapping back and forth at each other in the comments under a Facebook post. Leslie said, "I just tattooed your name because we used to F around," to which Perry said, "We only for like 2 days, plus you be making up too many lies." Leslie gave a final response. "No, we didn't. It was a month and 4 days." Leslie was crushed with shame, and she had to make a comeback, so she decided to attack Perry's new girlfriend, Lisa Marie Simon. She wrote on Facebook, "Lisa Marie Simon, at least I'm having his baby." Jealousy had completely consumed Leslie, and her obsession with Perry was growing out of control. All while that mess was unfolding, Perry decided to post his girlfriend's pictures with the words of affirmation. The shade aimed at Leslie. "My girlfriend is the best thing that has happened to me, and I will never let anyone come between us. BC, she is all I will ever need. She means the world to me, and if anyone tries to make her feel like I don't, I will fight behind her, believe that." Even though she was being dragged by the whole internet and by Perry himself, Leslie couldn't hold back. She seemed to have traded her shame and dignity for clout. She once again announced her pregnancy on her Facebook account, claiming she would be a mom soon, and it wasn't only Perry who was enraged. The audience was just as annoyed. Someone wrote under her post, "You need help, you are not pregnant, and you need to leave Perry alone. I'm sorry, but he does not love nor want to be with you, else he would be with you now. But no, he is with him girlfriend that he actually likes and wants." You will find someone who loves you for you, but you need to stop obsessing over any guy who gives you the slightest bit of attention. You need mental help. But this wasn't the only time Leslie had faked her pregnancy. It was her go-to move. She had done the same more than enough times, all to squeeze money and attention out of her followers. This one time she announced that she just found out that she was pregnant while her ex was in jail.
And I'm arrested today because after he got done doing drugs, he hits me and he cut. You see that cut right here? All from him. And stuff like that. And I also found out today that I'm pregnant with his kid.
Then on another occasion, while she was dating a girl, her obsession with pregnancy and becoming a mother grew even more. Leslie announced that she will be going to a paternity clinic to help get pregnant.
I will be going to a paternity clinic and hopefully walk out pregnant.
In this video, someone unleashed their fury, hurling many insults at her. LOL! Wow! People aren't stupid! No doctor in their right mind would grant you a child with your mental status. Stop the lies, you sound ridiculous. Has anyone seen the movie It's Pat? It's an older movie. This is who he reminds me of. It didn't stop there. One day she made a TikTok video of herself showing the positive result on the pregnancy test while dancing and lip-syncing to the song. And when she was finally pregnant, which was of course a blatant lie, Leslie began collecting funds from her followers, posing herself as a single mom in need of financial support. From the Cash App scam, Leslie had gained enough funds to get her father expensive gifts, including an Apple Watch on Father's Day, which she also showed to her followers. But it didn't take long for Leslie's followers to connect the dots and realize she'd been lying all along. She was hiding it very well. The only reason why she got busted was BC people were contacting her dad and aunt. Granny and the aunt took Flubby's phone for a few months, only for her to come back and do the same all over again. Her family's response has always been, SP about the minors, was she's a slow, and has a mentally of a young teen, but she's an adult and there's not much we can do about it. They're her biggest enablers. It's easier for them to just give in to her a lot of times, just sweep it under the rug. They've always had an excuse for her behavior. After she got busted, Leslie once again showed up in her videos with "I am the victim here" face to gain sympathy. Leslie even talked about the pregnancy that she had faked at the time she dated Perry. She claimed that she planned to return everyone's money. Hey y'all, it's Leslie. I just want to say how sorry I am for lying about everything, and I didn't mean for it to go this far. I only did it so Perry would be with me and his ex would be jealous, so I know what I did was wrong, and I'm sorry for everyone who sent me money. Please comment your Cash App or message me, and I will send you back whatever you paid me when I get paid. But that day never came, and Leslie had her excuses ready. Her Cash App wasn't working, and she blamed everything but herself for not clearing funds. And when someone commented on her video that it was her followers who made a mistake, Leslie grabbed the opportunity to play along and voice the same thoughts. I don't know why y'all keep bugging her to pay y'all back, when it's your own fault. On one occasion, Leslie cooked up yet another wild story to milk money from her followers, but with a new spin. Instead of using her own usual drama, she made up a sob story about her cousin's baby needing formula and asked for $50. Naturally, people felt bad, until it all fell apart. Her lie was exposed when she shared her cousin's Cash App. It turns out that B. Fletcher 24 was no one but Leslie herself, and apparently she used that money to buy a weed stash. Leslie's trying to use an alternative Cash App to claim it's someone else's for formula, when it's just weed and Pink Whitney. And when people come for her with full-blown rage and hostility, it comes across less as bullying and more as a reaction that makes total sense. From the top. Phobic, lazy, dirty, lying, tongue-gnawing, bad friend being, fake drunk actin', rotten cheese smelling, thief. You ain't even have anything close to at least a good, so you can do more with your life than spit in people's fast food. And since you've been fired from or up in nearly every single restaurant in your area, now's probably a bad time to behave like the you are. At least pretend to give a about a future for yourself, asshole. Back to her dating era, Perry was already neck deep in her obsession, fake pregnancy sagas, and endless drama. Things got so bad that he had to fake his own death just to get away from her. Perry had faked his own death so Leslie would leave him alone. For about a year or so, she'd post almost daily how in love she was with him. But right after that, the plot became really twisted. Out of the blue, Perry was wanted by the police for multiple charges, and the sheriff's Facebook page had posted about him. Ascension Parish Sheriff Bobby Weber is asking for the public's assistance in locating 20-year-old Perry Freely, who is wanted for simple burglary of an uninhabited dwelling. Someone commented, "He probably did it to get away from Leslie's psycho ass. Y'all must have missed the TikTok memo." And it all made everything more unhinged and messy, with Leslie being the center of the mess. When Perry went into jail, Leslie once again became gloomy. She was in a live stream when she found out that Perry was in jail and his bond was set at $500,000. She instantly grabbed the chance to start a new drama and use it for her content. She even made a separate video explaining how she met Perry, calling him her best friend, and claimed that they were engaged. She posted it on her YouTube channel.
Me and Perry at first was his best friend. Me and him were best friends for like 2 years. Then I was like, damn, he's such a nice guy. He's so sweet. He's kind. He's always there for me. Blah blah, shit like that. Then he told me that he can't be with me because he was dating my best friend Milan. But then I got over it because he's my best friend and I don't want to leave my best friend.
Leslie's obsession wasn't just stuck on Perry. It started creeping toward everyone in his orbit, like his best friend Levi, who was also his jail inmate. Levi was convicted of vehicular manslaughter, which led to his girlfriend's death. And it was, of course, a very serious call-out. But Leslie gave zero thought to it and got along well with Levi. He contacted her through Perry from jail, and Leslie didn't waste a minute in choosing him as her next obsession. Leslie even justified herself for choosing Levi in this video.
His girlfriend went and got him in the car, and his girlfriend let him drive the car because that was the parents' girlfriend's car. So he really didn't just steal the car. But yeah, none of the other charges are really true.
But unfortunately, Levi wasn't there to share a romantic bond with her. He was there to milk her for money, and both Levi and Perry had their hands deep in this mess. And as expected, Leslie happily sent Levi money while he was in jail, which straight up went into his commissary account. For Leslie, Levi was his new boyfriend, a new obsession. But for Levi, she was his source of getting out of jail and securing his future. Someone called her out for her desperate move once again. Holy, this girl is blinded by attention. Notice how I didn't say love. The dude literally killed the girl and left her there. I assume he ran because he had either a weapon or drugs. Either way, he killed her, and Leslie did not even think twice about it and sent him money. I guarantee she's never going to hear from him again. He probably don't even know what she looks like. She's that desperate that she will put out for felons in jail. So unbelievably disgusting, like, come on, grow a pair of balls and think for your goddamn self for once. Leslie kept being delusional, considering Levi as her boyfriend, but it was clear that the relationship was only transactional. Leslie even spoke about Levi on her TikTok, and thanked Perry for his part in her so-called relationship.
When Perry was in jail, him and Perry are like best friends. He gave my number to Levi. Levi called me, and me have been talking ever since. It is thanks to Perry, because if it wasn't for Perry, I would have never met Levi.
And then boom, Levi disappeared, leaving Leslie wondering where he went after all those transactions and his promises of being together. When Levi left, Leslie went back to her first obsession, Perry. Even when he got out of jail, Leslie kept going back at him to shamelessly farm content off his existence. Just like this video, where apparently Leslie made the first call to Perry and then pretended as if he had called her, all for attention and clout. Someone under the post commented and pointed this out. Another one said, "The desperate reaching, it's so bad, girl. We can see who called who first." Leslie didn't leave Perry alone and kept getting under his skin, and sometimes even dragging his girlfriends into the dirt. She once made a video in which she attacked him and recalled the moments she had shared with him.
And if you really don't miss me, then why do you tell people you do? And you try to get with my friends, and you date other people just piss me off. And you said you never me 4 times. 2 at the trailer that you were staying in, and 2 at my house, so come again. And bro, I never put money in your books. I never did. All I did was write to your ass.
And it didn't come as a surprise when Perry lost his cool and responded in a hostile way while catcalling her. He made a separate post for Leslie and called her out. And then Leslie found herself falling for yet another guy named Wyatt, a relationship that ended in 11 days, but again for Leslie it was the trigger for a new obsession. The viewers discussed who the guy was in the comments. Wyatt again. Right, not again. How long has it been with this one? Befar, it's like this with every guy you meet. That's not healthy. It depends, since it's Wyatt I'm talking about. She kept posting about Wyatt, being delusional about his interest in her. But that was never the case. Wyatt, like any other guy in her life, was only after clout and attention from Leslie's viewers, who remained in an on and off cycle relationship with her. In a video, Leslie told her viewers that Wyatt was emotionally manipulative and asked her to leave TikTok. He even made a separate group chat on Snapchat to her. After their breakup, Leslie's phase began. It was because no guy wanted to stay with her anymore. During this phase, Leslie found herself stuck in the eternal friend zone with Sage, who often appeared in her live streams, comment threads, and duets. While he showed her affection, Leslie failed to reciprocate. This Sage saga kept Leslie occupied for several months. Everything changed when Sage took interest in his friend Jay, who, according to Leslie, was actually Sage's girlfriend. Jay also appeared to be fully invested in the Leslie drama. On her TikTok page, she claimed Leslie was nothing but a cop caller. Leslie also accused Sage of sleeping with his 16-year-old best friend Emily, while Sage was 21 years old. In the comments, Sage himself, with the username GhostBCZI, commented and asked people not to get played by her nonsense. I hope y'all don't believe this shit, Lamau. I'm a whole virgin. Emily is an adult, a gorgeous one at that. She's Sage's bestie. Leslie and his hurt. Sage wouldn't drop any all girls because she's insecure and bossy as a F. I'm glad she's done tormenting him with his dead name, but she needs to move on to therapy. You can't really love somebody else unless you love yourself. Also, can we all this? Remember, they were never together. They were talking. She even stooped as low as misgendering Sage, throwing around phobic and transphobic slurs like it was nothing. At one point, she even threatened to beat up the girl Sage had been seen with, all while he was doing his best to ignore her. When Sage had enough of Leslie's exhausting call-outs, bullying, and he finally responded to all of Leslie's allegations in a statement. He said, "Emily is my best friend and that is all. She has a boyfriend, and I love her boyfriend. He's my buddy." Leslie is saying that Emily is 16 and that Emily is 18 and I am of age due to my childhood trauma. He also said, "I am not even comfortable being around cis men by myself." And of course, this wasn't the only time Leslie showed her phobic side. When Leslie fought with another creator named Dayton Online, she allegedly used phobic language. A creator named Dove exposed Leslie in her livestream, calling her out directly for her offensive behavior. But the hate didn't stop there. In another livestream argument, Leslie let her racism fly loud and clear. She shamelessly called her black and ugly, and even dropped the N-word. It appeared that Leslie was too comfortable in doing so, or might even have a past to use such terms with no real consequences. The female creator called her out for her vile behavior, which perhaps fueled Leslie's rage even more, bringing out her unhinged side. But Leslie's racially offensive drama didn't stop there. In another live stream, Leslie was caught demeaning a certain group of people, saying that if those people don't take a shower for days, they begin to stink awfully. And when people accused her of being trans, Leslie came up with a new tactic to defend herself. She made a video in which she claimed that she was trans and had always wanted to be a boy since her childhood.
When I was a little girl, I've always wanted to be a boy, cause I knew I was the perfect type to be one, and cause I always act like one, I always played like one, I always dressed like one. I was never the girly girl type. I was always like a boy for some reason. I don't know why. I just was.
Even after posting this, Leslie never went for any surgeries to change her body, which meant she only did that to have a safe pass, continuing to disrespect the trans community. Leslie shared a Facebook post in which she mocked a gay couple for messing with kids' minds. Someone under the post called out Leslie for claiming to be a while also ridiculing the trans parents. Why are you so mad about it, Leslie? Angel Booth caused why they trying to confuse the out of kids. Leslie Clark, it's not for all kids, it is for kids that have trans parents. This book is not hurting anybody, you're bi, right? You should be more accepting, they aren't confusing kids. It seemed Leslie had a strange obsession with the N-word. In a video on Snapchat, Leslie said the offensive terms on repeat, but Leslie's violent nature isn't reserved for the internet. She's the same inside her home. In one of her live videos, even her grandmother had to step in and call out her nonsense. Some viewers have even speculated that Leslie keeps the house dirty and doesn't do anything around the house to help her grandma. According to them, Leslie is old enough to be still living with her grandma while not doing anything on her part for finances. In one loud meltdown caught on video, Leslie was busy screaming at the comment section when her grandmother came out and asked her to behave. And if that wasn't dark enough, someone made a disturbing post on Reddit about Leslie. What is happening to her grandmother? She beats her grandmother and throws things at her, and she stresses her so much she's had a stroke. I get it, she's her grandmother, but she needs a backbone and an intervention for Leslie to continue living there, and her dad doesn't even know she her granny. Her granny wants to apparently put her in a group facility, but Leslie throws tantrums her grandmother needs help to get her out of the house, but she gotta talk to Leslie's dad. I pray this old woman doesn't dare from unnecessary stress caused by a excuse for a granddaughter. Justice for Granny. When someone in the comments asked what really happened, the poster responded with this. Leslie's grandma's best friend's granddaughter spilled some tea. Apparently Leslie has fetal alcohol syndrome because her mom was a drunk, and she has her siblings, and she hates Granny, and if a Granny doesn't but her food or give her money or take her place as Shelpie or herself. It turned out that Leslie herself was a part of the subreddit, and after reading all these posts and comments, she wrote a post and dragged everyone who accused her of her grandma. For whoever said I beat my grandma and y'all are disgusting, cause I have never my hands on my grandma, and I never will I know better than that y'all ain't disgusting people. Y'all are all going to rot in hell. Y'all go y'all selves. Y'all disgusting obsessive sucking. The most mind-blowing part? Her post had absolutely 0 upvotes and yet somehow racked up 200 comments. Someone asked if this was really Leslie behind the account. So wait, is this account really hers? I'm assuming so, judging by the comments she's left on her profile. Only her would use her full name on Reddit. Hey, it's me. Every time she commented, she would have plenty of downvotes on her comments. Under the posts, the Redditors went off on her. When are you gonna actually grow up and stop being a disgusting piece of shit? When are you gonna stop being a lol cow? When are you gonna realize that people don't actually like you and only watch your lives to make fun of you? You tell them, Bettis. Leslie Diane Clark. When are y'all gonna grow up and stop being so obsessive and stop bullying and stop being trolls? So when are you gonna respect Granny and stop pissing and yourself? Because probably around then. And let's not forget about Leslie's irresponsible and behavior towards her pets. In a live stream, Leslie was caught at her dog, and from the sound of it, she might have even the poor animal away. In another live stream, Leslie seemed not to care about her dog being restless. The poor dog had lost its mother and was whimpering and pacing around. When the viewers mentioned it in the comments, Leslie brushed it off and said her dog was fine. A concerned user asked her to comfort her dog. The dog just lost its mom. What a Get off your ass, you tub of and comfort your dog. It literally is scared and just lost the only thing it had in life for comfort. I swear to God, I'm about to book me a trip to Gonzales, Louisiana, and throw this piece of trash. Even when her dog grew old and needed extra care, Leslie didn't bother to take the dog for a checkup or give it an ounce of attention. Someone pointed out her reckless behavior. I'm genuinely sickened by the neglect of this poor senior dog. It is obviously in pain and in need of care, but she doesn't want to get her fat ass up and go to New Orleans like there is closer animal hospitals to you, and even if there wasn't, what the like your dog is going to die because you are lazy and broke. She deserves to rot in hell. Her continued neglect of her pet dog ended in a tragedy. Her dog passed away. Did Leslie dog die? That's Sue's sad thing. I can't imagine how hard that is. Poor dog. Someone revealed in the comments that Leslie kept the locked up in a cage and never cared about it, except the time when she was called out in the live stream to comfort her crying dog. She kept that poor baby locked up. It's sad because of how horrible his life was. I hope he is peaceful now. She live streams her whole life, and I've never seen her interact with that dog or mention it except the time she was crying in pain in the background and people called her out for it. And it wasn't even only about the dog that suffered due to Leslie's poor and acts. Her goldfish met a similar fate. She kept it in a small jar, which didn't give it enough space to settle. Surprisingly, the fish didn't even make it through the day. Apart from scamming, being offensive, and bad-mouthing, Leslie is also amazing at sympathy farming and pulling the victim card, and that too, using other people's misery. Her grandmother once babysat a young girl, baby Kaylee, which Leslie began taking as an opportunity to profit from. Unfortunately, baby Kaylee's father brutally took away her and her mother Christina's lives. Instead of showing quiet respect, Leslie began using a hashtag #sign justice for Kaylee and Christina across her content to gain more views. People began calling her out for her attention-seeking behavior and called her creepy for her odd conduct. I don't think she even came back to the internet until after her death. I personally believe she came back just to milk that tragedy for clout. Leslie made edits of Kaylee and pretended like Kaylee was her own daughter. She even made a video on TikTok about what happened to Kaylee and her mother. Leslie continued to exploit the tragic story of Kaylee by posting about her and the mother on and off, not understanding how the grieving family would feel. Doubling down on the nastiness, Leslie even got Kaylee's name tattooed on one of her thighs. People in the comment section were grossed out by Leslie's acts. She got Kaylee's name tattooed on her thigh. I asked her how Kaylee's family might feel about it, and if she asked them first, and she said no, because the dad killed the mom and kid. What the That just made me sick to my stomach. The most unhinged part of Leslie is yet to come. Leslie has been accused of sending her only to a 15-year-old boy. And the craziest part is that she was faced off by the same boy in a live stream who revealed her nasty secrets in front of everyone. At the time, Leslie was 23. When Leslie was being confronted in front of everyone in a live stream, she said someone told me he wasn't a minor. And then she transitioned towards another story. The boy told me he was 19. However, Ethan had at the time told her, "No ma'am, I'm 15 and I can't be talking to adults on here." and Leslie didn't pay attention to that part. Instead, she proceeded to send him her pictures and then asked him if those would change his mind. Leslie had even been confronted by Ethan's sister on a call. Leslie's responses suggested that she already seemed to know Ethan's age, proving this wasn't a misunderstanding. But her unhinged and nasty behavior didn't stop there. In a TikTok video, Leslie openly confessed to having a crush on another boy, and it was his ex-girlfriend who had clapped back at her on her TikTok account. And surprisingly, that wasn't even the worst part, because Leslie has the biggest audacity to say some serious stuff without fearing the consequences. She openly admitted her wrongdoing, which was, according to her, wasn't a mistake, because she told everyone that no one could hold her accountable, not even the authorities. Leslie openly challenged anyone who dragged her for her nasty behavior. Ethan's sister also recalled how cops weren't able to do anything against Leslie, giving her an open pass to do whatever she wanted. The cops were called, and they said they really couldn't do much because of the distance, and they never actually met. They told us it could take years for them to actually be able to do something about the situation, but the best thing my brother could do would be to block her. And he's did do a live with Barbie last year, or earlier this year, and said his side of the story. But apparently here recently she's saying again he showed her a fake ID, which is not true at all. Leslie found my brother through Instagram and tried to form a romantic relationship with him. He was 15. She was about 23 at the time of the relationship formed over Kik and Instagram for a few days, and then she started sending photos of herself and telling him how she wanted to have his babies and how she was going to come movie in with him and how she was in love with him. She even made a TikTok showing his picture in it until people started questioning his age. Her bio said his name full months even after he told someone about the situation, and it became publicly known. But the point of this is, we did try, we called the cops here and there, and nothing was going to be done about it. One underage boy named AJ wanted to confirm if Leslie really chased the in the dating pool, so he approached her, acted like he was interested in her, and got her to talk to him. He clearly told her that he was only 16, but Leslie didn't stop. Shockingly, she still insisted on being his girlfriend. AJ posted a video about it with some screenshots of his messages with her as evidence. And if you thought that was the maximum disgust Leslie could have, you are wrong. What you are about to hear would push you into another pit of filth. An anonymous user came forward with some screenshots of Leslie, exposing her never-seen-before side to everyone. The first screenshot described what actually happened. Hello, I was told to get in contact with you if I felt comfortable. So about a year ago, I noticed Leslie was lying about a bunch of stuff, so I called her out for it. Then she decided on her one of many accounts to come on my TikTok videos, which I have proof, to laugh at my baby. Then on another one of her TikTok accounts, she proceeded to say that my 6-month-old niece at the time needed plastic surgery like WTF. You can most definitely post this. Please black out my picture and name. This is my personal Instagram, so I don't need her followers coming at me and my family. Thank you so much. In other screenshots, Leslie is seen laughing at the mother's pain. Get out of here, dried up bubble bass, talking shit about my baby. Oh, I screenshotted it again. So you still laughing about a baby? You're a straight scumbag. How you gonna laugh when you supposedly miscarried too? You're a lame excuse for a woman. You need to rot in hell. In another screenshot, a user pointed out Leslie's not so surprising trash behavior. It wasn't only her racist behavior that made her disgusting, but also ridiculing someone's disabled. I tried putting it in the live, but it wouldn't let me. My daughter was severely disabled and didn't make it past birth. Leslie screenshotted the photos I had on my social media of ultrasounds, and the photos I had while holding my child. She told me she was going to use them as her own when I freaked out on her. She started telling me, well, she's ugly anyways, I wouldn't want that. That doesn't even look like a baby. And I'm glad she died. Get away from Leslie when you can. Protect your child, yourself, and your husband from her ridiculous and inexcusable behavior. You deserve so much better than her. As if this wasn't the rock bottom already, Leslie stooped to a new low. In a live stream, Leslie was recorded speaking to her friend, jokingly saying she would in a baby's room. Yes, you heard that right. As if peeing on the floors in her room wasn't disturbing enough, she took it to the next level, doing the same in someone else's house because, according to her, it was cool. But not everyone found it funny, so she was confronted once again. Bruh, I thought we was cool, bro. Why the f would you say that to my niece about in her room and blame it on the dog you're sick in the head or something? I don't play about family, and that is not something to say about I'm not joking if it's your issue, bro. We was live in the truck one night and talking about going to go to Walmart to get me a toy. And we was all joking around saying a random and I said a joke where I was going to do it, and in that one room with the door locked. I didn't even know it was the baby's room at that time until she said we aren't going to do that in my baby's room now. And I was like, oh, you turned that into the baby's room? And she was like, yeah, I did. And I was, oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Definitely not doing it there. I don't know why, but I don't believe you, bro. That's my sister, and she wouldn't just randomly say that. Like, I really don't know what to say to you. Then the user shared a video with Leslie, asking her about it, and Leslie said, "Me and her kinda talked about that." She finally got the taste of consequences when things went beyond the internet. One of Leslie's friends pulled a setup that she never saw coming, tricking her into coming to the park under false pretenses. It was all to stage a confrontation, exposing Leslie for her disgusting behavior, especially the livestream moment in which she made a disturbing joke about in a baby's room. When she arrived at the park, her confrontation began with an audience both online and in person. The same friend who had asked her why she said vile things about her niece began going off at her. The situation left Leslie in shock and in great panic, so she eventually began threatening her friend with cops. She claimed her friend would spend the rest of her life in jail. This made her friends burst into laughter, ignoring her meltdown. Leslie was left in tears, alone in the park, humiliated and abandoned. After that, Leslie had to walk to her home alone, marking the first symbolic moment in her downfall. And this wasn't the only time Leslie was clowned. First, she was turned into a walking meme by her friends. This time, it was an unknown person who pulled a wild prank on her. While she was sitting on her house's porch doing live stream, someone called the cops on her with a complaint that she was loud and intoxicated in public, disturbing the peace. Leslie is currently caught up in her grandmother's dire situation. Someone shared a post on Reddit asking what exactly is going on with Leslie's grandmother, since Leslie had made multiple teary videos vaguely referencing her grandmother's health. It turned out that her grandmother had suffered from a heart attack previously, and now she was diagnosed with throat cancer. A couple of months ago she had a heart attack. I think Leslie said she had a couple of blockages, so she had a stent put in. Now she's been diagnosed with throat cancer after she went to the doctor to get something removed from her throat. It must have turned out to be a tumor. And now the fear of losing her grandmother is so big that Leslie is bound to sign a DNR. She posted the same thing on her Snapchat as well. DNR stands for a do not resuscitate, which is often signed by people who do not wish to get CPR if they stop breathing or their heart stops beating. But viewers were quick to burst Leslie's bubbles by writing these comments. She's gonna be really pissed off if she does get a DNR, then realizes it's nothing. It's not a magic wand. It's not a death sentence. It won't shorten her life or kill her. It's just a piece of paper that she may as well wipe her butt on. Why is she creating drama as if a DNR means she'll be taken to the Polanski unit and give the bye-bye jab that very same day? It's a piece of paper, you dip. Jesus, are we sure her mother didn't throw her away as a baby and raise the placenta instead? People think she is back at it again, milking sympathy and seeking attention from her followers by crying in front of them and playing the classic pity card. Meanwhile, it's her grandmother who is suffering big time. But Leslie managed to make it all about herself, as always. She is a sad and vile human being. The woman has throat cancer and she's making it about herself. She's so performative for sympathy votes. Good lord, it's hard to watch. Good lord, how long is this milk gonna last? And let's be honest, if her grandmother left her side, her whole life would come crashing down. She's crying wolf because she knows the second her grandma is gone, she won't have anything to support her. Leslie has currently deleted her one TikTok account permanently and told everyone that she is done for good, but the users aren't buying it. How else will she beg for alcohol and weed money? I think she'll be back by the end of the week with another account. So, what do you think? Is this the end of her drama, or just the calm before she floods TikTok with 10 more backup accounts? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're all watching.